Please be seated, everyone who's still standing. My name is Jim McGuire, and I'm going to be the officiant for this amazing, wonderful ceremony we're all about to take part in. Now that everyone is in place, I invite you all to take about 30 seconds to snap a few last pictures before kindly stowing your phones away so our photographer can capture the ceremony unobstructed. So, go. Okay. Good afternoon. We have all come together today to celebrate with Jessica and Jocelyn. They have gathered us this afternoon so we may participate with them in one of our oldest and most cherished traditions, celebrating a marriage. They are here to demonstrate before those they know and love the seriousness of their intent to be together. We are here to bear witness to one of the most important acts they will commit in their lives. Throughout the ages, humans have ritualized and created symbols to mark the milestones in their lives. Marriage is one of those rituals. It is an agreement to commit to the one you love, to form a bond with another human being that surpasses all others. The theme these two lovely ladies wish me to communicate to you today is one embodied by the phoenix of antiquity, transformation and balance, or in other words, impermanence, where transformation is a manifestation of impermanence, as well as balance. It also represents the yin-yang of strength and weakness, where strength is a welcome weakness, and weakness a font of unbridled strength. So hooray for these two ladies. Welcome to the land of Jessica and Jocelyn, where love is alive and well, and has not been forgotten that the best love is that which ebbs and flows, thereby transforming both souls into their greatest selves. Please stand for the invocation. Dearly beloved, let us join together in offering our best wishes for this celebration. Today, as one community, forged out of many, we hope, we pray, we invoke the spirits of the peoples, forces, and powers gathered here today, to which we look for guidance, to call upon the highest in Jessica and Jocelyn, that which gives and asks the best of both of them, that brought them to love and has chosen for them the commitment of marriage. We ask every blessing of this moment, a confirmation of the wisdom of their choice of partner, great happiness on the path that is set before them, discretion, kindness, and care as they walk upon it, strength to live out their purpose, grace and peace through each step of their journey, and beloved friends to support them. Let us now also think of the loved ones and friends who wish to be here today, but were unable to do so. Please be seated. Jocelyn and Jessica would like to say a few words to each other before we begin, or after we start. Hold on a second.
That sounds like it works. After almost 4 years together, trying to condense down the huge things I want to tell you into a blurb for today. Deep breath. It wasn't your Herculean task. A deep breath. After a lot of back and forth and some terrible poetry attempts, I realized that what I wanted to express to you was my gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for always recognizing my limits and for keeping me true and honest with myself and where I'm at. Thank you for supporting my choices and celebrating my successes, and for always being too big of a person to say I told you so. Thank you for your patience, your deep, unwavering well of patience that my toes only barely touch the bottom of. Thank you for being mean to my young. The sapphire to my ruby. The Asami to my Cora. The Bonnabelle to my Marceline. The shadow to my storm. Thank you for sharing yourself with me, for letting me be the person that sees your joyful laughter, and for letting me be the person you ask to manage your wounds. I will never know all of you, but I will never stop celebrating the pieces you share with me. Don't die. I'm almost done. Thank you for changing with me and for leaning into the big, uncomfortable changes with grace and ease, and for making every new step feel like a wonderful adventure. Thank you for being just the biggest nerd, and for always laughing at my terrible puns, and for making me laugh with worse ones. My life with you has been deep and warm and exhilarating, and I'm excited for the future we're building and for watching it unfold with you. Never once have I doubted just how much you love me, and never once have I doubted just how much I love you, and love you. I love you.
It's such a simple 3 words, and yet it encapsulates so much of our relationship and our time together. And it has been true from the moment we met. I love you. I love you for who you are. You inspire me to be. Meeting you that first day was like kissing the sun. But instead of burning my lips, you filled me with warmth and light. In ways that I never hoped for. And season after season, through changes, ebbs and flows, you have been there. Always rising, always with me, ever present, even when I can't see you. Never doubting that you're there and that you will come back. And that trust goes forward in perpetuity as we weather all changes and all seasons. And I could have not asked for a better partner than you, who I can count on to be fiery and passionate, to be the yang to my yin, to be the storm in my life that forces me to face things and reckon with them. And that's not an easy task, as people in your life already know. This is me stepping into you, to be there with you every day, as long as you have me.
In days gone by, in ancient Celtic tradition, the Druids were the keepers of the oral history, helping the current generation understand how, and more importantly, why we have the rituals that we have, how hard-won they were, and to be thankful for those that went before. In that spirit of community and passing down of hard-won freedoms, Jessica and Jocelyn have chosen a traditional hand fasting ceremony to symbolize their entering into the bonds of marriage. In Celtic and other traditions, weddings were celebrated by a simple ceremony in which two partners would join hands and their wrists would be tied with a cord, symbolizing the binding together of their individual lives. It is from this practice that we get the expression, tying the knot. So you two turn towards this congregation of friends and family and join hands. These are the hands that will love you. These are the hands that will hold and comfort you through the years. These are the hands that will give you support and encouragement. These are the hands you will each work with, create with, and use to build a life together. The knots of this binding are not formed by these cords, but instead by your vows. The promises you make in your hearts and uphold each day through your actions. Remember, you hold in your own hands the making or breaking of this union. Turn towards each other, please. The author Neil Gaiman once commented upon love, and he said, "It is not two broken halves becoming one. It's the light from a distant lighthouse, bringing you both safely home, because home is wherever you both are together. And because in the darkness, you will reach out a hand. Not knowing for certain if someone else is even there. And your hands will meet. And then neither of you will ever need to be alone again." As you, Jessica and Jocelyn, give public pronouncement to the existence of the love uniting you, keep in mind that you create your marriage. You have agreed to make a commitment to each other, and you have decided that the finest expression of your love is marriage. Jessica and Jocelyn, if it is your intention to share with each other your laughter and your tears, and to strive to keep the light shining in the darkness through all that the years may bring, by your promises, bind yourselves to each other. Jessica, repeat after me. I take you, my heart, at the rising of the moon and the setting of the stars, to love and to honor through all that may come, through all our lives together, in all our lives. May we be reborn, that we may meet and know and love again and remember. Jessica, repeat after me. I take you, my heart, at the rising of the moon and the setting of the stars, to love and to honor through all that may come, through all our lives together, in all our lives. May we be reborn, that we may meet and know and love again and remember. In the past, rings were a symbol of bondage, of who was enslaved by whom. These rings, whoops, I'm supposed to fast forward rings first. Pardon me. In the past, rings were a symbol of bondage, of who was enslaved by whom. These rings are a redemption of that symbol, a sign of bonding in freedom, of your having chosen to cast your lot with one another in this life, and of the seamless circle of joy that surrounds you both. Jocelyn, will you take Jessica's ring and put it on her finger? And repeat after me. As a symbol of my vows, and of this day, with this ring, I commit to you in marriage. Put the ring on her finger and repeat after me. As a symbol of my vows, and of this day, with this ring, I commit to you in marriage. Today is a day I will remember until I draw my last breath. For it is a day that I am joining these two women in matrimony, legally, in the eyes of this congregation, the state of Oregon, and the United States of America. Not very long ago, this ceremony had no legal weight. For my ceremony to Joshua, it was sacred ritual that had no value in the eyes of most of the world's religions and governments. We must celebrate and safeguard this hard-fought-for right. For all of us, our successes are many times built upon the successes or failures of those that have preceded us. Like few groups before us, our queer community understands the importance of hard-won freedoms and small stylish. With love and utmost respect, I pulled several elements of my marriage ceremony 20 years ago into this ceremony, so that once again the strength and courage of prior generations will live on, and more importantly, inspire the next generation to live, to love, to celebrate, to be true to ourselves, and to fight for our freedom to be allowed to live as the God has made us. For some, marriage may seem antiquated or even heteronormative, yet it is a ritual we are shown almost from our first breath to be in awe of, to strive towards, to cherish. Justice Anthony Kennedy said it better than I ever could in his ruling in the Obergefell decision that legalized marriage in these United States. And I quote, "No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than they once were. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. It would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right." I ask you to please stand and hold out your right hand towards the couple. Let us offer our blessing upon this union. We ask all assembled to accept the vows with which Jessica and Jocelyn have spoken to each other. Give them the strength and courage to keep the bond which they have established today alive and vital for all their lives. May they continue to be a blessing and a comfort to each other, sharer of each other's joys, consolers in each other's sorrows, helpers to each other in all passages of life. Encourage each other in all things, and trust life, without fear of what the future will bring. May they not only accept and give affection between themselves, but together have affection and consideration for others, and may the inspiration of this love not be forgotten. So say we all. Please be seated. We're all big nerds. Because Jessica and Jocelyn, you have showered our hearts with expression of your love and promised to each other the joys of all your days. It gives me great honor and pleasure to say, by the power invested in me by this congregation and by the state of Oregon, I now pronounce you married. You may kiss the bride. That's fracking amazing. Go in peace, dear ones, for you have given the greatest of all gifts, been given the greatest of all gifts, true love. Love embodied, love promised and sworn, love twined to itself until death do you part. May every word you speak and every breath you take in each other's presence be twice blessed, truth and joy. And may you walk together in strength each day of your lives. Go in peace, for you together have done this beautiful thing.
Yeah.